Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Ladies Fashion Showcase. I know we've been a little bit absent for a while now. It's mostly my fault because I've been working a lot. But thank you, Mel, for always being patient with me when it comes to that. How are you doing, Mel?
I am doing great. Today I'm realizing how sore my arms are right now. Holy hot dang. Last day I killed my arms at the gym. That's a lie. We know I'm going to do it
Yeah.
tomorrow. How are you doing, my friend?
I was going to say, I smell a lie already,
Smells
But,
that strongly, you can smell it all the way in Florida.
yep, you know it. No, it's nice to be back doing this. I really miss being live, not only here with you, but doing all the topics that we like to do. I know it's been hectic with scheduling and the holidays and all that stuff. So it's nice to be back doing this finally. I missed it. But yeah, we have a couple topics for today that we have picked out. But our main event for today, we're definitely going to be talking about the women that have been, we call it the top five women of 2023, which are the women that really stood out to us this year, women's wrestling. Obviously, we both watch different companies, so obviously it'll be a little bit different for both of us. And another thing will be we have the top five women to watch out for in 2024. And like I said, and just being that we watch different companies, we definitely have different tastes when it comes to that. So it's nice to see the diversity we have in here.
Mhm.
It's very monkey say Merry Christmas near near enough, everybody. I know. I feel like tomorrow's gonna be Christmas at this point because time goes by so fast at this point.
It's starting to feel the way outside. I mean, I'm up in the frigid north here. It's starting to get a little cold. We've already got frost all over everything, and my dog is slippy sliding off of my deck. It's hilarious. Merry Christmas, Barry.
Yeah, it is. That's how it is.
Mhm.
I figured we would start with some. I would say good news in that sort of way. I know we've seen a couple of the ladies that have been having kids lately, so it's pretty nice to see
Mhm.
that. Like we have a new generation coming up. We have Carmela that just gave birth. I think it's a baby boy, if I'm not mistaken. We also had Alexa Bliss that just gave birth a couple of days ago, and Time Bella too. So everybody's like almost in a row right there too. But it's pretty nice to see the ladies here having their kids and having beautiful lives together with their husbands too. So I want to say congratulations to all three of them for
Mhm.
for this I don't want to say achievement, but like this milestone in their lives, to put it like that. But no, it's nice to see the girls doing that. I do miss them, especially like my Carmel and my Alexa. I miss having them in the ring, so I cannot wait
Mhm.
to they decide to return, if they do decide to do that, though. But I'm just really excited to see them posting about having kids now. I feel like I'm old at this point.
I mean, it's always nice to see everyone getting what it is that they want out of their lives and stuff. I mean, for me, can't relate. I'm good with a dog. But, you know, congratulations. It's always something, very nice to see in the news among all of this dribble drabble of everything else. So yeah, it's very nice to see the little baby pictures, especially coming out of Taya and Sammy. They're usually the heel, kind of. Yeah, I don't watch AEW regularly, but from what I hear, they're heels. So it's nice to see the sweet side of the heels from time to time.
Yeah, and talking about what was the word they used? A jibble jabble, was it?
Dribble drabble, yeah.
Dribble drabble, that one, yeah. Talking about
Mhm.
that. I'll give you the word because I can't say it.
Speaking of
We
dribble drabble,
did Yeah, speaking of that, I wanted to discuss Ric Flair's comments that apparently he mentioned during a taping for Rampage, if I'm not mistaken.
hmm
I don't know if it'll be edited. Hopefully it will. Because it definitely is causing a lot of chaos. Obviously not in a good way within the community. Just seeing
hmm
the comments that he's making, especially at this age. He's what, in his 70s, 80s. I don't know at this point.
past his
But
prime. That's the
yeah,
big exclamation point on that is past his prime by at least 20 years.
yeah, and just
Yeah.
like I get when you're like in that younger age and you want to do that, and that's your like your line because that's your character and things like that. But at this point, when you're even when your daughter could be in that category and past that category, it's just at this point it's very uncomfortable to
I
like
was going to
just
say,
read.
isn't Charlotte in her 30s now? She's past the demographic that he insinuated. Um, yeah. Um, Here's the thing. My opinion on this is going to be very kind of flippy flappy, if that's a proper way to describe it, because on one hand, if anyone saw any one of my private conversations with some of my girlfriends, yourself included, they would be like, "You girls are perverts," and I would have to say, "I absolutely, I very much so sexualize men." I don't feel the need to do it to their faces unless they're a narcissist. Because that's what they want, and so you might as well, and if that's what you want, then give it to them, right? But on the other hand, I have this. Hello, Mark. on the on the flip side, though, also you're on television. This is something that not only adults are having access to, but children are also having access to. This is a children's show. So when you're sitting there saying something like that, even if it is what you think, there's a certain amount of professionalism you need to have. And my guy, you ain't fooling anybody at this point. You need a whole bottle of them little blue pills to even handle an 18-year-old girl. But not only that, you need a lot more money and a lot more things to be able to handle a girl within that demographic. Also, there's no amount of weed that you could offer me for promo from your company that would make me even want to look at your little winkly wanker there. So, but I'm also that person where, you know, time and place, man. This was not the time. This was not the place. You want to sensationalize something like that? Freaking do it on your Twitter so that no one needs to care, because who gives a shit about Twitter or X anymore? But like, we, I think what the overall point I'm trying to say, we all have a little bit of perversion in us. It's your personal choice to let that perversion flag fly. And once you get to a certain age where you're like so
Too old for this?
just I question his ability to walk at the best of times. You want to think that you can perform that, bruh? No, I'm not buying it. But what concerns me more, it was what you sent me later, which was people like Miro, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Who was else? Who else would be? Kevin Nash, sitting there going, "Yeah, man, let your freak flag fly." It's like, bruh, how did that work out for you? Not so well.
Yeah.
So I'm on the. We've discussed things like this before, where it's like, if that's who you are and you let your freak flag fly, have fun, don't hurt people. That's the biggest thing. Don't hurt people. But like, take it down a level, man. You don't need to be sitting there going out. I'm old, I'm nasty, but I can pull 18-year-olds. Your daughter could pull more girls than you could right now. My guy, sit down. Be quiet. Yuck. Astrid, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I feel the same way you do, and to extend it a little bit more as well. I think about it like this is something that might be played on television. I say might because we haven't seen Rampage yet. But not only that, but seeing it that you're saying it on TV, to put it like that, it reflects up on the company as well. So just like not seeing like the company's image, but then thinking about like if I was a female in that roster, I wouldn't feel safe hearing comments like that, because it makes me feel like it would happen to me in our workplace, and that would feel so uncomfortable. Ah, look who's here! Hello, Andre. But it just makes me feel uncomfortable in that part, because I understand if you said it during the 70s and 80s because it was like acceptable around that time. I get that part of it. But I was like, you're almost in 2024. This is not what you should be saying on air, on screen, with a microphone. You basically your job could be on the line here if you think about it. Because a lot of companies, I'm not saying AEW because we don't know what's going to happen yet, but most companies don't find comments like this unacceptable, and you could have been fired on the spot for saying stuff like this. So that's why I think of like you have to be careful what you say. And to quote exactly what he said 18 to 20, no boyfriends, no husbands, meet me in my hotel room. And it's just like I will feel uncomfortable if I was in that age range more than anything. It's like 18-year-old, it's barely a child, like just getting off of being a child. Like to me, that's just not it, because it also makes you feel like you could go under 18 at that point because it's so close to it. And I don't like it. I really don't. And I know that there's people like you said, we obviously see that like the guys, and we're like, oh, he's cute, he's hot, whatever, things like that. But like you said, we do it privately, and it's like we don't talk about this stuff like to be so vulgar like on screen or even like anywhere in public like that. And he's getting so much support. He also tweeted not too long after that. This is what he posted. and to quote him because his tweets are, I don't like the capital letters the way he does it. Ugh. As Mark said, my first job won't be on the line as TK loves him too much. Yeah, that's the only like I would say, like I don't want to say the only downfall because it could be more of those, but that's a downfall right there because you can just tell people this is what you're allowed to say, and other people might jump on the bandwagon because he said it. But
Mhm.
it is what it is. I don't agree with it. But to quote, this is what he tweeted. I think it was yesterday, almost 6 p.m. I'm so tired of hearing all this negativity. I don't need to work and I don't need the money. I'm just gonna say first light right there, sir, because we know the divorces you had. You need the money right now.
Mhm.
He said, "Can I simply enjoy being by my dear friend's thing side for the next few months without so much hatred? I know I'm old, but that doesn't mean I can enjoy life. I have earned the right to do whatever I want." And I go, disagree on that. Doesn't mean you have to say it out loud. And he said, "I'm exactly where I want to be. I appreciate everything Tony Khan, but I'm more than willing to walk away if I'm embarrassing you and your company. All I can say is I'm sorry." And he posted the same thing on Instagram. He's getting so many comments from, to put it like that, the overall locker room from both companies in support of it. And look who's here. And this makes it to air that's got a lot to say about TK. Thank you, Olivia. Ophelia. Why is it Olivia? Ophelia for stopping by.
Hey, girl. Love you.
Um, First, I see comment from Jericho, which doesn't surprise me at all. Don't listen to the online assholes champ. You're effing Ric Flair. Do what you want. F him. It's like, do what you want. Really? Should you do what you want? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think someone told
um,
him that in the 80s, and that's when we ended up with a lot of loud noises, a lot of cocaine, and some random debauchery. I don't think we need to
no,
encourage people like Ric Flair to do what you want. He already did,
no.
and gotten a lot of shit for it.
His Hunter says that Flair should have been gone a long time ago. It's like, you have how many retirement matches at this point? Just take the one and go. Just bye. We don't need you here. Like, we're at a
Mm,
point that we don't need Flair. We need Charlotte Flair. We don't need Ric Flair. That's a different story.
yeah.
We also have Stone Cold Steve Austin. Rick, I enjoy watching you, all the things you do, and you're always having fun. Keep doing you, and that's the bottom line.
Mm,
And one other thing that I noticed too, and to quote him, Miro said, "Stop reading the dirt sheets. They are the poison and do not represent the fans." And this part I do have to disagree as well because it's not the dirt sheets talking about it. It's the fans actually saying we don't like what we hear because this is not what
mm,
AEW is supposed to stand for. And so that's the one that definitely, like, I was like, holy crap, like, why were the dirt sheets? What do they have to do with this? It's us as fans, especially female fans, saying you shouldn't be speaking about anything like this. And the other one that I would say like disappointed me was Titus O'Neil. Titus was a person like that represents WWE and the community as a whole. Definitely disappointed me to be seeing him. He said, continue to enjoy your life, sir. We only have one life to live, and we should not allow others to dictate how great our life is, because how we are, who we are, can dictate how great the lives of others can be. And yeah, that one disappointed me as well. It's like I wouldn't be encouraging anybody to make comments like this on air, on social media, anywhere that could be shared and other people can just spread it around. I
mhm.
would not be telling anybody you do that. Do you like? 'Cause that's not a thing. It's like if you have something internally, you can let me know, but don't be spreading around. um, Barry, did he not say what doing is probably fake? No,
I
but you
think
know
he
how I
was
can tell
wooing
was
throughout the
him.
whole thing like a freaking hound dog.
The only way I can know was him because all the tweets, like the first letter of every single tweet is capitalized, and that's how he tweets. I hate when he tweets it like that. I totally hate it. I don't know why he does that. It's like I don't know where he got the style from, but I don't like it
Probably because he's
whatsoever.
about as senile as the president down there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, before we give too much airtime to Flair in regards to this, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, you're right. It's disappointing to see a lot of people who we would respect in situations who have also done things to build up the companies, and like Titus O'Neil. All I gotta say is, if that's the case, offer up your daughters if you have any.
Yeah. That's
Offer up
another thing.
yours. If you're okay with your daughter sleeping with your 18-year-old sleeping with Ric Flair for the sake of woo, volunteer them as tribute. If you're not, maybe restrain yourself from saying anything about it. But again, for me, like I said, I mean, we all have a little pervert in us. It's just a matter of, do we let that pervert come out professionally, or do we maybe keep that little thing to ourselves? Because again, if you went into my messages with some of my girls, yuck. But I keep it to myself. No one needs to know that. In this respect. Uh, Probably not something Flair should have said. And shock and amazement. It's going to be one of those things where it's like you opened your mouth and you let out a little snowball, and that snowball is going to keep rolling. It's just a matter of if people are going to be able to chip away at it before it becomes too big or if it becomes an avalanche. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I like you said, I don't want to give it too much time aside from that.
Yeah,
Just
because this
hoping
is a
that they
ladies'
realize,
showcase.
just hoping that's the last of it and that they edit that line out somehow because
I
they got time to do that. So that's the only thing I would say. Please just take it out of there. As Barry says, "Oh, we live in a strange world where odd, confused old men who are long retired out of the top are at the top of lots of things." Yeah, and that's a very unfortunate, especially like when it's like male dominated sports and things like that. So
hmm hmm
it's obviously they're gonna see him like he's a legend. He can do whatever the heck he wants at this point because he's earned it by how long he's been in the community in the industry. And it's like, to me, that's not an
No,
excuse.
no, because he's also earned a lot of disdain for the things that he has done in the industry, along with some of him and his friends. So we can't just sit here and sensationalize. We also have to remember there was some fuckery. Sorry to swear on your channel. I try to swear less on Ladies Wrestling Showcase, but there was fuckery. The fuckery
Yeah,
needs to be acknowledged.
that's very true. It's okay. You can. We done you've done it before. It's not gonna stop us at this point.
It is not.
um, but now we wanted to go to our main event, which is the important discussion of the day, to put it like that. We wanted to give the top five women of 2023. We're gonna start with that one, and then we're gonna go to the next one, just top women of 2024, which is the people that we think you should look out for because we feel like they're gonna have a great year next year. So I know Mel's because she sent me the pictures, but she doesn't know mine, so she only
Yeah.
knows that the two that we have in common, and that's it. So either way, I'm gonna surprise her with this with my picks. But we'll start with the top woman of 2023. Which one for you? Mine and I are no particular order. I don't know if yours are, but mine's like just a woman that I thought did great this year. I don't have an order to it.
Yeah, mine aren't like a particular order, but I sent them kind of based on like what I thought they had based on their year. So my number five pick was my personal favorite wrestler, female wrestler within professional wrestling right now, which is the Red Queen, Utami Hayashishita. She had a heck of a story this year going on where she was on a big losing streak at the beginning of the year. Uh, Barry with the fuckery, I love it. But yeah, you tell me she had a heck of a story year this year, going on a major losing streak, but still having incredible bangers of matches, going on a little bit of an excursion in the US here, defeating personal favorites like Billy Starks, Janai Kai, even Lufisto, who is a beast on the Canadian indies and has also, I believe, been on AEW dark matches. Um, what a freaking show. You can go on to Andre and Melball's Wrestling Talk to see our review of all of those matches. But Utami had a very, very impressive summer over here and returned to stardom with another one of my picks to look out for next year, which we'll talk about later. Utami did get injured just before the Goddess of Stardom tournament started a couple months ago. She was supposed to be originally in it with her teammate Saya Kamitani. They are the team Aphrodite. It sounds like they are coming back after Kamitani sky sparkled herself onto Tom Nakano. They sound like they're healed up. They're coming back, and they're coming back with a vengeance, wanting to go after the Goddess of Stardom championships. So hopefully we will see those two as well as the Goddess of Stardom tournament winners, Micah and Megasis Megan Bain, taking on Aphrodite. That would be such a good match. Asher, do you know much about Utami?
I can say I don't know anything about her, but I can see in this gear, I love the red in here, that red and gold
Yeah,
combination. Oof. Once I saw that, I was like, I'm intrigued by just the gear in itself already. I love the combination of colors here. So she looks great.
yeah. You can see the rose that she's holding up in her robe there. She always
Hmm.
gives that out to somebody in the crowd. It is a Melball's goal to obtain a rose
Ooh.
from Utami Hayashishita. One day. One day. Let's take it into your
Let's
choice, my friend.
see. Okay, this one. Let me see if I can find a picture. Okay, this one I picked her because even though I haven't been a fan of her title reign being like we don't have contenders lined up for her. We always have to create something for her in that aspect. But I cannot deny that she's gone viral in such amazing ways. Like so many communities have known about her this year. And one thing I can say about her, then even though that I'm not a fan of how it is her involvement in the women's division, I can say and give her props because she is represented every single week on on the show and Raw. Every single week you see her somehow. It doesn't matter how, but you see her. And it's one thing that there was a time for the woman that for a couple months the woman didn't have a lot of time, but you will always see her no matter how much time there was on screen. And that's another that the Eradicator Rhea Ripley. And one thing we can say, mommy has been killing it with her gears, with her makeup, like going all out when it comes to her character and everything she does with Dirty Dom in Judgment Day. But one thing I cannot say, like I cannot deny, is that she's been represented on WTV on a weekly basis, especially doing Raw. Like is she's such a like a big piece of Judgment Day when you think about it this way, because most of the time, if she's not involved, they end up losing their matches. And so you can tell how she's a very special part of the group in itself. And even though I love Damien and he said he's the leader, I think she's leader of that group more than anything. She's the one that always making out the plans and always finding out backup plans for the guys. So I can say that she's definitely one of my top 4 women of this year. And I just want to. I'm looking forward to at the same time to see how her championship reign goes into next year, because at this point we don't have any more WWE pay per views until the Rumble next year. So I'm looking forward to how that goes, and not only that, but knowing that she's had little face offs here and there with Becky Lynch this year. So I have a feeling that her and Becky might go at it, which is the match I've been looking forward to. Please just give me Rhea versus Becky for WrestleMania. That's what I want. That's one of the matches that I want for the women. So please just give it to me. I've seen the face offs, I think at least twice at face off and Raw. They just look at each other, don't say anything, and then they kind of smile and then they go their separate ways. So be getting teased here and there about it. And even Becky mentions there's one bigger fight that she hasn't been a part of that will be happening soon. So that's definitely one of it. Barry says, on a side note, where Rhea was in Saudi Arabia, she didn't look like a Roseman from Impact. Yeah, she kind of did. I would say it was also, I think it was the Crow. If I'm mistaken, this one she did kind of a little bit of the Crow kind of makeup as well. But like, even going back to Saudi Arabia, even her showcasing there, her entrance alone, making it seem like she's the dominant woman compared to all the men that were in her entrance alone. Like that point, especially in Saudi Arabia, of all places, is mind blowing to think about. But I love seeing her on a weekly basis, and she's one person that has been represented weekly there on WTV. So I cannot deny that part about her.
Mhm. I mean, Melball's obviously a fan. I mean, I dressed up as her for Halloween. But yes,
Mhm.
mommy has definitely been someone who has been, mainstream. She's very marketable. Even my friends who don't watch wrestling
Mhm.
know who she is. Like, I just have to say that Rhea Ripley girl. Oh, the bondage girl from wrestling? Yeah, everyone loves her. Yeah, and
Yeah.
everyone knows who Rhea Ripley is. She's had an amazing year. And I agree with you. She's the leader of Judgment Day.
There you go. My
100%.
favorite part of Ripley this year was Melball dressed as her perfection.
I did my best.
Yes.
Did my absolute best. I even had a dom. Our good friend
Mhm.
Jason Rutledge was my dirty dom. So fun. Good times. Good times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't unfortunately watch WWE a lot, so I don't know a whole lot. Like I watch the pay-per-views sometimes,
Yeah.
maybe. But yeah, as I mentioned, Rhea Ripley, I see her everywhere, even though I don't watch the product. So yeah, they're doing a great job with her and making her their kind of, I would say maybe beacon. Come hither, young children. Come watch this product.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, yeah, I would go.
Okay. Let's see what you got next.
For my next one. This is another one who didn't really work a ton this year. She only kind of worked really half of the year, again, because of an injury. Utami suffered a neck injury. This person also suffered an injury. Number one or number four person I am talking about is Mercedes Monet. Her debut at Wrestle Kingdom was, I thought, great. Yes, she may have hoopity doopitied her little finish thing, but like I don't fault her for that. She was in heels, man. Like give her a freaking break. Um It was a mixed reaction kind of debut from the wrestling fans, but I personally loved it. I thought it was done well, and I thought that she came out fantastic from it. To have her winning the IWGP Women's Championship from Kyrie was just so good. The match that they had was something that really, I was really concerned going into the match because at that point I hadn't seen what Mercedes was capable of outside of a WWE ring. Seeing seeing her, Sasha Banks and Mercedes Moné, two completely different people in my opinion. They don't wrestle even a little the same. Mercedes Moné has more of a lucha libre inspired. Have another drink, Melball. Inspired. Lucha inspired. But then she also has this crazy just strength and speed that allowed her to keep up with people like Azumi and Hazuki to retain that IWGP championship in a three-way match. That's incredible. To lose to Mayu Iwatani is not, it's not anything to be ashamed of. Mayu Iwatani is that person who, if you are a fan of Andre Melball's wrestling talk, you know Mayu Iwatani has a reckless disregard for her own personal safety and health. And that's what makes her so entertaining. I have seen this woman yeet herself down a flight of stairs 3 stories tall and then be wrestling the next day with a bruise the size of a football on her thigh. She just is so good at what she does. But Mercedes, she stepped into the ring with all of these stardom women, having never stepped into this style before, wrestling with the WWE kind of styling. She got her ass kicked, but she kicked a lot of ass back. I really, really enjoyed her strong title run also. The kind of play that they did up that with the tournament with I think it was Momo and Willow versus Stephanie and Mercedes, and then Mercedes and Willow. Like, wow, what a show! But then the whole thing, just such a good thing that she did with her ankle when she did get her ankle injury, and really showing her experience in that match to kind of end it without a cluster. She knew exactly what she was doing. So, anyone who wants to criticize Monet's year, watch her shit. You clearly haven't. Because she did so good every time she stepped into an NJPW or Stardom ring. And it was not Sasha Banks. She left Sasha Banks behind. That is no more. That is not a style that she could probably go back to either. It was so simplistic in comparison to what it is that she's doing now. And I felt that she had a great year. Yeah, she only got half a year, but the things that she was able to accomplish for herself and her career and the companies that she worked for in that half a year, big money. Big money. What do you think about that, my friend?
I don't want to say too much because she's also on my list for for the next category, so I'll hold off on saying too much on there.
Sure, for
But
sure.
yeah, I agree with you. Even though I feel like she missed a lot of the year because not only she was gone from WB, so she was waiting for that contract to end, but and the injury on top of it, so that combination there. But I think that when it comes to her, I give her props for taking that time and really highlighting herself. You know, she was in the New York Fashion Week and she was doing this and doing that left and right and companies here and there, appearances here and there. And it's like, when is this girl gonna sleep? Is what I was thinking because she's promoting so many things as she was gone from WWE. And then even though there was rumors already of her appearing in Wrestle Kingdom, but still having her show up is a different story because obviously you get rumors anyway, but to see it happen it's it still catches you by surprise when it does happen. So seeing her show up, make her presence known, win the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, having those matches with those ladies, and even highlighting Willow because at the end I feel like she was gonna win the match, but obviously they had to give it to Willow because it was the last match. But
Mm-hmm.
still, it was like that was incredible. Thinking of like she was injured and she still gave us such an incredible match. And like you said, I know there's similarities between Sasha Banks and Mercedes Monet, but to be able to go at the speed that she went to, holy crap! Just like I don't know how she does it. I really don't. That's the one thing I wish I knew. um,
Practice, dedication, and
do.
drive, man. That woman is motivated.
Yeah, I don't blame her for that. And definitely, I feel like I feel like even the last couple months without WWE, she's made such a legacy for herself.
Mhm.
I cannot imagine how she would continue from there because there's so many things she could still do. And I cannot even begin to imagine how crazy it's going to be next year for her. But like I said, I'll talk about her a little bit later. um, for my next one, I did want to highlight this one, Trinity, because I not only along the lines of like we're already talking about Mercedes, but Trinity, just like Mercedes, she did so much, and she was also in New York Fashion Week and doing things left and right. While still leaving WWE, like she said, "Nah, I'm gonna make myself known somehow. I'm not gonna be quiet here," and I'm glad they were not quiet about it, and they found the ways to highlight themselves, and then having her show up in Impact, I think that was something huge because she even said it, it's not about the money, it's just about being in a place where the division actually like shows up and they don't limit them and they're able to show out. And I think the Impact was a great spot for her when she said that. And I thought in my mind of Impact when she automatically said that as well, because I'm thinking Impact is one of those places that has let women, showcase themselves in so many ways for years and years at this point. So it makes sense for her to do that and to give us all these matches that we don't get to have before because she was in WWE, like her and Jordan, like her and Diana, like even her and Sonny Kiss. Like it's something that I never thought would happen, but now being an Impact gives us so many possibilities. And who knows if maybe next year she'll end up, taking matches outside of Impact as well. And I'm glad they capitalized on her when she was there and say, we're going to put this championship on her because she's here now and you don't know how long we're going to have her for. So I think it's a smart decision to have her be champion while she's here. I feel like it's a great way to highlight her outside of WWE. Her match with Mickey James, one of my favorite ones this year as well. So I feel she's doing great. I just can't wait to see how she is without the championship as well. I would like to see what her matches are when there's no title involved. And like I said, just thinking of if she would jump to indie bookings, for example. You never know, because one thing that made me realize with her is about her passion for wrestling. Because she said it's not about the money; it's about being able to like catapult and highlight the company, highlight the division, and she's been doing that exactly. So I
Mhm.
gotta say, she's one of my top ones. Here we have our local establishment. Good evening, my friends. It's Bobby. Wishing you both
Bobby.
an amazing stream and even better Friday night. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby.
But yeah, I feel like she's doing going great post WWE. I don't even see her returning anytime soon. And it's one of those like, if she does, I don't know how they will treat her because she's been treated a lot better in Impact as the last few months she's been there than what she was in WWE. And I'm not saying she didn't have a lot in WWE because she had a couple things happening for her, like being a SmackDown Women's Champion in Orlando, her hometown, happening the way it happened. And I feel like they dropped the ball on certain points with her. They did with Sasha Banks as well, and they could have done better, but still, I just like I don't see her returning because I feel like she's gonna end up enjoying more how she gets treated here. And not only that, but I see the videos of her and Jordan and Deanna backstage and Giselle, and just seeing that like whole locker room camaraderie. It's nice to see how great they are, like our friends outside of the show, and how much fun they have together. So this is one of my favorite people to be able to highlight herself and blossom outside of WWE.
Mhm, mhm. I'm curious to see how she performs also without a title because, like with myself, to use an example, in Stardom, Suri became very dry, very boring to watch while she was the champion until she faced Julia for the championship and then losing the red title. Her last year has been a year of kind of reconciliation. So yeah, it would be very interesting to see how Trinity performs without the title. Um, yeah, I agree with Barry there. She has been good for Impact, and Impact has been good for her. I've been hearing a lot more about Impact because of her involvement in the women's division, and I was very much missing her energy because she just seems to be like a very positive, just wee kind of person, and that I have missed seeing. I feel like I haven't seen that as much of that coming out of the WWE, or maybe it's just I'm not noticing the clips or something as much. I don't know, but it's very interesting to see the difference in dynamic of where people kind of go. Yeah, good choice, my friend. Good choice. So if you want to hear about my next choice, my number three, someone you kind of know about, someone I'm definitely very well aware about, and that is the current double champion within Stardom, the IWGP, or not IWGP, NJPW Strong Women's Champion, and the one of the trios, the Artists of Stardom champions, Julia. Rumors are abound that she will be joining WWE. And when I first heard that, I was like, not too happy about that. But now, upon thinking about it a little bit better, it's not smelling so much like dementia over there with Vince McMahon's kind of exit. I'm hopeful. I'm crossing my fingers that if this happens, I will be okay with it, being that her style is allowed to stay exactly the same as it is. Because the styling that she has, both the aesthetics and her in ring ability, is what makes her such a package. Um, she's crazy also, and she does have that really awesome ability. I think she's trilingual, English, Japanese, and Italian, if I'm not mistaken. Um, just a tremendous benefit. What a year she has had, though, consistently performing so good and consistently performing around the world. She has been predominantly in Japan, but has come over to the US a number of times, specifically to defend that NJPW Strong title. And as you can see, successful in such defenses. She faced, which is, she defeated Willow to get that NJPW Strong Championship, but has since defended it in a fatal four-way against Giselle Shaw, Deonna Purrazzo, and Stardom's Momo Kogo. She has also recently defended against CMLL's Stephanie Vaquier, who is also now a double champion over there. Like, the women that Julia is facing, the caliber of women are just top notch women in their industries. And I suspect that her good year is going to continue into 2024. My friend, what do you think about Julia?
Yeah, thinking about her, seeing those heavy rumors, like you said, it makes me feel a little bit better now because it's under new management to think about it like that. And we've also seen the way they have treated Io recently and Asuka now, and even Kyrie saying as part of damage control as well. Just seeing how they've been highlighted in a different way. They haven't been thrown in how it was before. So that makes it more interesting. The only downfall for me from if she does sign with WWE is that I wanted her versus Mercedes to happen before she signs. So that's the only thing. Like if she does sign, I'm like, I really want to see that match. That's the only like
That's
downfall for
fair.
me. But I just like if she does go to WWE, I feel like it will be such a great way for her to like catapult herself. A lot more people are gonna know about her more than anything because when I see companies that think of WWE being that legacy kind of company, a lot more people watch WWE than any other companies right now. So that's how I see it. Of like there will be more people, like she will be gaining an audience to think about it like that. So
Mhm.
that's one thing that I see with her. But she's incredible. Just thinking, like you said, when you said Julia, I automatically thought of that four-way from Multiverse United. That was incredible, and they even have a little part there that they may pay homage to the Four Horsewomen's match in NXT, and even thinking of like she has some great matches. It's just like I think it would be great to like see her against other people that are not in WWE before she does get signed. Because either way, whether she goes to NXT or go to the main roster, either way, I feel like the rosters are getting highlighted so well both right now. She could be great in either one. So I wouldn't even know where to put her either. That's another thing to it. I wouldn't know where to place her. But either way, she's been doing awesome. It's nice to see her with both championships too. I was like, I love her shoulders being heavy. I really like that. But no, I just like I like seeing her. But yeah, it'll be interesting if she just joined WWE. I think like that will be such a great signing and one that I never guessed would even happen, to be honest. But if it does happen, like that will blow my mind in such a way. But no, she's been doing great. I'm really happy for her to see her highlighted and to have people when she came to the US, have people like booking her left and right and seeing her posted like wherever she was. I was like, this girl's busy, booked and busy. I love that. No, very happy for her when this year as well.
Yeah, I have high hopes. I mean, if you guys want a little indication of what you can look forward with her, you go back to the Queendom show last year and watch her match with Suri. They fought all over that stadium. They yeeted each other off of the ramps. It was crazy. It was crazy. But take us into your next choice, my friend.
Next one, I was stuck between which one to pick, but I'll definitely go with this one. This one I want to highlight her more than TV, even though I don't watch the company she works for, and I don't like the company as a whole. But when it comes to her, I love the direction they have with her. I'm disappointed that she's not champion anymore, to be honest. But she has such a great reign. Camille having an 813-day reign in NWA, that's probably something like unheard of at this point. And it's amazing to think about that such a reign. So seeing her in, having so many contenders that were different styles and different sizes, like, and she defeated each one of them. I know now she's more than anything cannot be like a manager with her husband, so that's the only thing I'm like, I want to see more of her. I love seeing the clips that I've seen on social media about her. Rumors are, and I'll say rumors with like caps to put it like that. There's big rumors of her contracts being over with NWA next year. That she may end up kind of be like a by appearance, but and I would like to see her and getting showcased somewhere else. I feel like a company that really cares for women's wrestling, because I feel like she's one of the few women that was actually highlighted in the NWA, and like I could say, oh, Camille NWA, like that was great. And I definitely like I would like to see her somewhere like an Impact that gets the woman highlighted in such a way, and to see her with those girls there, or even in WB right now, because like I said, it's just like they're highlighting women more often now, and they're doing great building out that division and everybody else too. But 113-day reign, like that's humongous. Like that's a huge accomplishment as it is. And I believe she was in the top 10 for the PWI this year as well. And I was like, that was what earned in my opinion too. Like this girl's killing it.
Oh yes, oh yes. I love Camille. Her match against Taya Valkyrie. That's a Triple A show, I think it was. Yikes! I was crazy. I was off the chain. Yeah, Camille is a personal favorite. Also, um, yeah, I don't honestly follow NWA though. I have been hearing a lot of clustery stuff though. That's kind of been keeping me away from it, to be honest. Um, but what I see out of her, I freaking love. She's even been here recently to take on Ava Lawless, and unfortunately, I was busy that night, so I wasn't able to go to the show. But I heard it was a hell of a match. Good choice, very good choice. I have high hopes for that girl in the next year. Okay, we're down to the last two, my friend. My number two choice for the best year ladies Japanese wrestling, the iconic Mayu Iwatani, current IWGP Women's Champion. This woman, gosh dang, it just, as I mentioned earlier, just that clear disregard for her own personal health and safety. This woman eats, sleeps, lives, breathes professional wrestling just all day, every day. Her gear is constantly being changed. But this year in particular, she's definitely been working even harder to really play up her faction, play up herself. She's been taking on crazy challenges. She's been doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Um, I have nothing but high hopes for her in the future. But like this year, defending the IWGP Championship has been fantastic for her. And I hear a little rumor, she might be coming over to the US to start defending this IWGP Women's Championship. And that's, if that's the case, how would we like to see Mayu Iwatani go against Camille for that IWGP Women's Championship? I would personally love to see that, because Camille would just toss Iwatani around and Iwatani would love it. She would absolutely love it. They would have a killer match. Um, Yeah, Iwatani has had an amazing year. She's really been building up herself, as I said, building up her faction. Her faction includes like people like Hazuki, who has taken on Mercedes Monet in the past. And like I believe I saw Hazuki and Mayu actually one on one in the Grand Prix. Could be mistaken about that. But man, these girls, they're insane. But yeah, this gotta figure out which way I'm pointing now. Mayu Iwatani has definitely been, as I mentioned, on the rise this year. You've heard a little bit about Mayu Iwatani, correct, Astrid?
Yeah, I'm like you when it comes to the pointing. I'm still getting used to it. 2 years later, I'm definitely going the other way. But no, I like you said, I've heard a little bit about her now, especially now that she's champion. And as you said, with those rumors, that would be super interesting wherever she goes. Whether it's just like an indie route, imagine an impact, because and even like there's so many possibilities now, or even anybody that's not in contract, even like an NWA, just do like a one shot type of thing. MLW has been adding more ladies to their division as well, so just to think of like the possibilities.
I
Oof.
mean, isn't Janai Kai the current MLW Women's Champion? She
Yeah,
went on with Utami when Utami was over here. I wouldn't mind seeing a champion versus champion match, even if it isn't for the titles.
yeah, I cannot, the possibilities now just makes me think like, holy crap, where is she gonna go from there when she does come over? That would be like, that's a good
Mhm.
possibility to think about there too. Like you said, somebody like Camille, the difference in styles there, that would be pretty
Mhm.
amazing to see as well. So now you got me thinking. I can't think of anybody else right now because there's so many people. But
Could you
yeah,
imagine the highlights? I mean, you got someone like Iwatani who does do that high flying aerial kind of reckless disregard against a powerhouse like Camille, or even against, someone like Billy Starks or Athena,
never know,
Rosemary,
never know.
Giselle. There's a ton of women that you could just pick and choose from
Yeah, yeah. Holy moly, I
there.
wouldn't know where to start.
Well,
But
let's start with your next choice.
my next one, I like how you mentioned there, not a bunch of names in there. My next one is none other than the fallen goddess, Athena. One thing that I haven't liked about this is the fact that they have kept her just in Ring of Honor versus the Ring of Honor champions have been in AW programming, but she really hasn't. But other than that, ever since winning the championship, she's been so dominant. I like seeing the clips that I've seen of her and Lexi and Billy and being a part of like that meeting and training program, MIT as they call it, and she's been doing so great with anybody that comes in to challenge her, no matter who it is. And seeing like like her and Billy grow into each other the way they have, having Athena being like, "I'm the veteran here, and you're the rookie, and you're learning from me," kind of storyline. I have been loving all the clips I've seen from both of them, and it was just confirmed, I believe, yesterday, that they're actually facing each other now for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship at Final Battle, if I'm not mistaken, the pay per view now in December. So that's
Mhm.
gonna be amazing to see. I'm very interested in seeing Athena versus Billy. I feel like it's a match that could go either way. When do we finally see Billy being like, "I'm graduating from MIT by beating Athena," or do we have Athena going, "No, you're the rookie here. You're wrong, and I'm still beating you at the end." But she's been doing great with her promos and the character and having the two girls alongside her. I feel like it's such a great compliment to each other, and then in a way I never thought would be possible. But they've been doing great together. This is gonna be kind of bittersweet when it does end because they're doing so great together. But either way, she's been killing it being part of Ring of Honor. I do wish we would see her like more outside of it to kind of promote her in that way. But if I can say something about Ring of Honor, is that Athena is the foundation of Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I'm happy also that she's back to Athena, because I was having the same problem I was with a lot of these people who come out of WWE. I get to know them as one name, and now I have to relearn their name as another name. Luckily, I knew who Athena was before she came into the WWE, so it's been a lot easier for me to accept it. Um, but yeah, no, I really agree with that. Yeah, I've been seeing the clips also. Really enjoying the story that I see from there. It's also unfortunately not a product that I usually watch, but man, clearly need to, because holy hot diggity. Maybe that's something we need to discuss in the new year, my friend. So without further ado, we're going to go into the one who I thought has had the best year so far, at least with Japanese wrestling or stardom is concerned. And that is another one of my personal favorites, the one woman wrecking crew herself. I think the murder grandpa's granddaughter, Suzu Suzuki. She's also the five-star Grand Prix winner this year. Like, look at that face. She's so cute. She's so pretty. You wouldn't know that her back looks like ground meat. My goodness. This woman is a deathmatch specialist at 21 years old. It's just so crazy. But what I've enjoyed about seeing with Suzu Suzuki this year, and what has made her my number one pick for women who had the most amazing year, is this is just one look that she has. The versatility that she has changes with her mood. You can always tell what kind of Suzu you are going to get based on her, particularly her face appearance. If she comes out looking like this picture, chances are you're going to get a fairly vicious Suzu, but you're going to get a fairly tame Suzu. If she's coming out and her hair's already up, you fucked. She's going to beat the crap out of you. But if she comes out, her hair is up and her eye makeup is dark, you know she's coming out for a death match and she is just unapologetically going to be cackling in the same manner Minoru Suzuki does as she's kicking the crap out of you. She's had such a good year despite leaving Prominence, which was her deathmatch faction, which still is actually remaining in Stardom, is actually causing her and her new partner, Sarah, quite some problems because they're not happy, obviously, that Suzu has chosen to leave. But she has had a very dominant year protecting herself from her prominence people by teaming with Micah and Megasis Megan Bain, the two powerhouses within Stardom right now, who kind of been acting like a little fence for her until they weren't and decided that they're in business for themselves now, such as wrestling, right? Um, but yeah, she will be, I believe this weekend, Andre will be able to correct me if I'm wrong about this. I believe this weekend she is actually defending her right to challenge for the World of Stardom title, which is their world championship. Very similar. She's kind of like holding like a briefcase kind of deal, which was she earned winning the 5-star Grand Prix. She's going to be challenging that right, I believe, this weekend. I don't know who it's against. There was some kind of challenge going on with that. And then I believe at the Queendom show, whoever wins that will be taking on whoever to go after that title. I am hopeful that Suzuki can go into 2024 representing Stardom as its World of Stardom champion. My friend, I don't think you've heard a ton, like, besides what I have to say about Suzuki. She hasn't really come over here too much, but she is very closely affiliated with Julia. So I suspect her friendship, her ties, her whatever with Julia will help and assist in bringing Suzuki over here to North America a little bit more. I personally would love to see her pop up in GCW because you guys kind of have Maki Ito coming over quite a bit. And I
Mhm.
feel like those two would have a really great Japanese style math.
Yep. Whatever
Yeah.
you said, let's put it like that. I can't do it.
Which is, not something I would watch, but I know it's what you savages want. So have at her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suspect that this year has been tremendous for her, and I suspect the next year will be just as good. My friend, what do you think about Suzu?
Yeah, I like the first thing I kept thinking about seeing this picture of her, and when you sent it to me, I kept thinking, she doesn't look like somebody that will kick your butt, but then when she kicks your butt, you're like, holy crap, she kicked my butt. So that's my tagline for her. But no, what I heard about her is what you've told me. Just so I don't know much about her in that aspect, but I like that she looks so like cute and innocent in that sort of way. But then she'll probably kick your butt when it's time when that bell rings. So that's pretty funny when you think about like her picture is not what she is like, or like to put it like reflection or representation of her. But yeah, I just think it's funny when you think about it that
I
way.
mean,
But no, if she does come here, we'll come over. Let's see what happens.
would be so good. I mean, her profile, like, yeah, if you look at this picture, I mean, she's sweet, she's innocent, she looks very cute, but it's like what she makes you think she is, and then the next image is her just covered in blood with those sticks sticking out of her head like she's some
Oh,
psychotic
mhm.
unicorn porcupine thing, and she's just sitting there smiling about it, and you're like, what you get, what you think you're
Oh
getting,
gosh,
what you
you
get.
gave me a visual.
Yeah, oof, she's gonna be fun. Who's your number
Yeah.
one pick, my friend?
By number one is probably not going to be a surprise to a lot of people. That's fine. As a lot of you know, I end up covering NXT more than any other product or brand, to put it like that, with Ed on Tuesdays on Taking Over. So this is one thing that I've seen that it's been amazing to see, and that is the one and only Becky Lynch. Becky is the only one of the four horsewomen who didn't have the NXT Women's Championship. So to have her be name dropped, to put it like that, in a Tiffany promo and initiating this whole feud with her and Tiffany, I feel like it was only beneficial for her because we she didn't have, she had her mania moments with like Lita and Trish, and I feel what Trish was amazing, but I feel like this was even better in that part. And to be honest, thinking of her, like her benefiting and Tiffany benefiting from this whole rivalry is definitely what I like the most about it. It gave not only such a killer, type of matches with both of them. I feel like it gave Tiffany that experience that she needed. And imagine her thinking of like she faced one of the four horsewomen already in her short time in NXT and a short time as a pro wrestler as well. But thinking now Becky gets to say like I'm a Grand Slam, I'm the last one to get the NXT Women's Championship. But one thing that I like the most about this reign is that Becky was such a veteran in this reign. She used it to highlight so many women that don't get a lot of TV time, and to defend that championship is so as often as she did. It was incredible to see, and it was only I think like a 40 something day reign, so it wasn't even that long. And to think like it felt long because you saw her so often with it, and to see her like during Raw just wearing it, I feel like it was a good way to like do that cross promotion within both brands, and kind of treat or like really treat NXT like it's that connection to WWE, because a lot of times they would kind of disconnect it and make you feel like a dummy when they change whatever happened in NXT and in the main roster. And with her, we didn't get that, which I'm very happy about. And like her matches with Tiffany were amazing. I feel like she did great to even like highlight Lyra Valkyria in their match as well. It was the first time they had two Irish women go against each other, and to have it be for the women's championship as well was amazing to see. But yeah, I feel like she was such a veteran. She's probably thinking like, let me highlight the women that are here now and are gonna be like not only here now but in the future of the company. And I think that like that mentality of that veteran mentality of like I'm not gonna be here forever, so I have to make sure that the other girls get their time as well. And her having matches with like Tegan Knox, for example, who doesn't get a lot of time on TV either. So overall, I really like that she got this rain. At first, we're like, "Oh shoot, it happened on a random Tuesday." It wasn't even one of those like one of the ones that give like a name to, like a Great American Bash or things like that, or like Halloween Havoc. It was no theme to it. It just happened. They happened to be the main event, and she really made the championship feel important, and it made me think like I would like to see a women's championship that's like a mid card title like this one, because I feel like it gave so many women that opportunity, not only for her but for the woman that she faced, and it was just incredible to watch it happen every single week. And I can say I love Becky as it is, so seeing this is just like the cherry on top, and I feel like it made me think of like she did great in this year, and not only that, like I said, I mentioned earlier, the face-offs that she's had against Rhea makes me excited for next year because I really hope they face each other at Mania. Ed, see, I was on time today, and you were late. I did the show at 6 p.m. Not you today.
Ooh,
See, finally.
oof,
Okay.
snappy, snappy.
Yeah, sassy Astrid. Okay, your turn, Mel.
I have always loved Becky Lynch. She's one of the four horsewomen that I've really quite admired throughout her career. I'm very happy that she was able to come back and kind of pick up that NXT championship. I thought she was still the champion. I didn't know she lost it. Shows how much I'm
She
paying
lost it.
attention.
Yeah, it was her against Lyra. So it was the first time they got to face each other like that. So it's nice to see her. Like Lyra showed up on Raw, and she's like kind of like watching out for how the match is gonna be, that
Mhm.
Becky had before her. But even her like having at the end, she like was able to like she cried so much and seeing them hug each other and just thinking of like she was like giving her that moment to like here your time to shine now. So it's nice
Mhm.
to see the way she like gave it to somebody else like that and gave her that opportunity too.
Mhm. Mhm. 100%. 100%. Always a fan of the man. Love her.
Always, yes, always.
So, without further ado, shall we pop into the women to expect or who we think are going
Yeah.
to be killing this shit in
Yeah.
2024? That's the right year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You made me
Sitting
think
here
about it.
panicking because, oh no. um,
Yeah.
my number five pick, woman to look out for in 2024, is one of your ladies, one of your personal favorites, Miss Billy Starks. Very excited to be able to see her at LPW coming up soon. Um, I'm not gonna lie though, I'd been hearing about her, but I hadn't really seen a ton of her. until this summer. And then when I saw her face Utami, I was like, who is this adorable little thing? And holy heck, they had a freaking fun, fast paced match. Really, really enjoyed it. Hearing all the stuff that she's been doing on ROH, also super awesome. The character development that she's definitely done this summer has been insane. To see this character just kind of get elaborated on. Like, I know she was a fun, cutesy little thing before, but she's just kind of grown into it and matured it a little bit this year. I've been really enjoying watching that. The build with Athena, as you mentioned, is just so good. So good.
Uh,
I'm not so much of an ass girl, though, Ed. Sorry. But yeah, Billy Starks just, I'm very much looking forward to what she has to offer. And again, very much looking forward to see who she's facing when she comes to Edmonton. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be right there with you, girl. We're going to be sitting there going, yes! Probably with a few profanities in there where a Melball is concerned. But what do you think of my choice here, my friend?
yeah, I was gonna say, let me mention her because I had her on my list too for women to watch out in 2024 as well. Like I said, she's been building up great with Athena and Ring of Honor. She's been one of the people that have been a constant thing in Ring of Honor. So whether she wins or not the championship, either way, I'm looking forward to that match versus Athena. And then to see what happens afterwards is what I'm curious about as well. So that's one thing. And one thing I also wanted to highlight, I didn't want to get the name wrong, so I had to look it up. She also won it now in October. If you haven't seen it, definitely go back and watch it. The Wrestling Revolver Grand Women's Grand Prix. It was like a 1 day tournament they had, and it was, I bought it for like I think $10 or $20 on Fight Up, if I'm not mistaken. So if you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it. It definitely has a great card, and she won the women's grand prix, like the tournament in itself at the end of the day. And it was really like my favorite thing about her winning it is that at the end getting that huge trophy that is almost as tall as her, and then getting her hand raised by John Moxley of all people. Like we've seen what Moxley has done, since being in AW and showing up to, like, let's put it like random indie shows, to like be able to like get like kind of like that advertisement, or like to that, that backing from Moxie and from Renee, and they had an incredible like even commentary team as well. But yeah, to see her winning that, I was like, that was amazing to see. I love her performance. I like how, like we talked about Zuzu, she reminds me a lot of like Billy in that way. She looks very cute and innocent because she's so young and everything, but once that bell rings, be careful because she's going at you. And so that's one thing I definitely have loved about her style. And she's been all over the world in so many places already. So I cannot even begin to imagine what her next year's gonna be like, especially now that she's not in high school anymore. So think about the year that she's had, and she just graduated from high school. Like, holy crap. But she's been doing amazing. So I cannot begin to imagine what her next year is gonna be like. Yeah.
As we like to say on Andre and Melball's Wrestling Talk, it's probably going to be glorious, glorious chaos, but in the good way.
Very true.
You
Okay,
want me
so,
to go
that
into
was,
my next one?
yeah, I was gonna say that was your number one, and I'll put it as one my first one as well. So what's your next one?
So the next one that I had to look out for in 2024 is kind of like a package deal. It's kind of a, I suspect if one goes, the other will follow kind of deal. It would just make sense right now based on how, I don't want to say conjoined they are, but right now their careers are kind of intertwined,
Intertwined?
as it will,
Yeah.
in Stardom, and that is the team of a Divine Kingdom, the Megasis, Megan Bain, and Micah. These two women are powerhouses in their own rights. I mean, Megasis is just an Amazonian when she's over in Stardom, and you can see the height difference even just next to her partner. But Micah is herself a powerhouse also, um, but in a very different way. Megan Bain is very much that woman who's indomitable. You're going to shoulder tackle her. She's not going to go down. You're going to be doing everything you can. She's just going to yeet you. One of her moves has become body slamming her opponents on her other opponents, as well as her own partner in Micah on her opponents. And then Micah gets back up and slams Megan Bain on her partners, just slowly crushing those ribs. But as I mentioned, this is a package deal. These girls won the Goddess of Stardom tournament. It's debatable between myself and my partner if they would have won the tournament, but if we lived in coulda, woulda, shoulda world, a lot of things would be different. Um, these girls have been on a roll this year, especially Bane, since coming to Stardom with Utami after she did her US tour. Um, yeah, I like I said, I don't suspect that when Megan Bain comes back to AEW that she's going to come back alone. I hope that she brings Micah because Micah has that judo kind of mixed martial arts background that makes her a very strong and also defensive powerhouse. But then you have that indomitable force of Megan Bain. They can only dominate wherever they go. My friend, what do you think about these girls? I think I've sent you
Yeah.
this picture like more times than I can remember.
I was gonna say, I know I've seen this picture before. I don't know anything else aside from that about Micah. I know Megan, if you think about it, I know she was in AW for a little bit before she went over to Stardom, and the rumor started that she's still signed to AEW while she's in Stardom, which I don't know, it didn't make a lot of sense to me, to be honest. But if she is signed to AEW, I don't know why they're in a sense like not using her in the way they should, because why wouldn't you? That's one thing I don't think I understand from that situation. I like what she's doing in the Stardom, and I remember always seeing her pictures always on my timeline when the Stardom shows happen. So I know she's one of those like I see her very constantly when the shows happen, and I can say that I can like her overall look and everything. I just don't understand what the mess is between that Stardom AW part because if she is in AW, she was getting used like I think before. I think she was injured if I'm not mistaken at some point. I know they were using her before the thing their injury happened, and then I don't know what happened there, but
Mm.
she's one of those, like, with her look, I will use her in AW more often, but obviously it's AW, so that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I have my opinions on the organization, or shall we say lack thereof, that constantly and perpetually seems to be happening with AEW. What I will say though is yes, it is confusing, but it does seem to have like there seems to be like I don't want to say a bed buddy kind of thing going on here, but it does seem to be because NJPW and Stardom are now owned by the same people, and if I'm not mistaken, AEW Impact and um, AEW
Is
Impact
it
and ROH are they all owned by Tony Khan or some way?
no, not Impact, not Impact, the other 2, yeah.
Not Impact. Okay, well, still kind of makes sense. It would make sense to have the interchange. It would make sense to have everything kind of go back and forth. You give me you, I'll give you this person, you give me that person. It does make sense. And this is why I mentioned that I hope it is a package deal and where Baden goes, Micah goes with her, because we have seen Utami come over and perform in an ROH kind of capacity. And like could have went to that if I had been given some, notice about it. But as what it is there, I think I personally hope actually that they do continue that kind of trade back and forth because we've seen the benefits of it. You guys have seen Will Ospreay, who's signed to NGBW, come over with AEW. You also have Kyle Fletcher, again, involved in the United Empire, but still coming back and forth. You have that kind of bitter rivalry happening between Kazuchika Okada and the guy whose name is always constantly confusing to me because WWE. Um, and I do hope that it happens, and I hope that it keeps happening because for me, as a fan of NJPW and Stardom, as soon as Megan Bain came on, I was like, "Who the hell is this?" And then I saw her wrestling, and I was like, "Good golly, Miss Molly, hi yo, yes please, I want to see this woman all the time." So yeah, I do hope that that continues because we see these people from the AEW and ROH Impact kind of era getting these opportunities and getting opportunities at championships within Stardom and within NJPW. So I think that can only better all of the companies involved because of that talent exchange.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely agree when it comes to that exchange. I definitely would like to see more of that next year as well, especially involving the ladies, because it's one thing that I would love to see. For my next one, this one was a tough one to pick, which one to pick now and later. But I'm going along with this one. She's the inaugural NJPW Strong Women's Champion. Again, another highlight of Ring of Honor as well. If you haven't checked out, at least on Twitter, if you don't want to watch the whole show, if you look up on Twitter, the commentary team, whenever her theme song comes up, is so energetic and so contagious in such a good way that I love her theme song, and that is none other than Willow. Um, Willow has been great. It's nice to see her in AEW showcased every now and then, to put it like that, because I know they have their moments that they don't showcase the woman, but I love her energy. I love how she is. I wish I could see her more on a regular basis. That's the only thing, but I love what I've been seeing from her. She looks like such a like sweet person to see it often. She already see like Trinity in that sort of way. Like her, you can see her sweetness. They're like radiating through her here. But I just love what she's done this year. I cannot imagine what next year's gonna be like. Her match versus Sasha or slash Mercedes was great as well to see. Her match with Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship was another one that was amazing. They main evented the show, and I really love seeing that. And yeah, I would like to see more from her next year.
Yes, I was actually very not educated on Willow before she went after the NJPW Strong Women's Championship, and which is unfortunate because I know she was here at LPW before she won that title. And man, oh man, she's been a treat to watch. I'm very sad to hear that she's injured. Very sad to hear that she's injured, but I suspect when she comes back, she's going to hit the ground running. She's going to have a hell of a year. Good pick. Good pick. Good pick. Okay. My next pick is surprisingly an AEW person now, but she started in Stardom. So I know who she is. And that pick is the Fighting Princess Mariah May. I'm very sad that we only got her for like less than a year, but I'm very happy to see the development and just the crazy career that she built for herself in that short amount of time in Stardom. She took one match, maybe two, to kind of adjust and get used to the style. And then she just ran with it. Joining Club Venus with Zaya Brookside and Mina Shirakawa was a very smart decision on her part. Her and Mina were dominant as the Goddess of Stardom champions. And I personally thought that they lost the titles a little too early. But given what was going on and with Mariah making that transition to leave Stardom to go to AEW to be with another former Stardom wrestler in Tony Storm, I mean, again, speaking about that camaraderie with the companies, seeing Mariah go over there, it could potentially open a door up for Mina Shirakawa also, who I would love to see come out on AEW television, because I think that she would do really well there, especially with her dancing intro, in comparison to somewhere like WWE. That being said, though, I suspect that they're going to have a lot of fun with Mariah, especially if she's going to keep working with Tony Storm. Tony Storm seems to be a very creative person over there. And I've always enjoyed the things that I've seen of her in Stardom beforehand. So I suspect that they're going to have a very fun working relationship over there. And hey, maybe we can see a tag division kind of take off with those two. That would be nice. What do you think about Mariah?
Yeah, I remember seeing clips from her in Stardom that you had sent me, and that were on my timeline as well. So I always enjoyed what I saw from her in Stardom. It was bittersweet to see her go, because I like how she was getting highlighted to even go to somewhere like AW, who doesn't highlight women very often. But at the same time, ever since she debuted, she has been there every single week. So that's nice to see there for a change. I do like, and I wanted to look it up because I didn't want to get the name wrong, to be honest. Since her debut, a lot of people have noticed the connection between her and Tony's storyline versus the movie, I guess, or the adaptation, All About Eve. So if you haven't looked that up, I would definitely look that up so you can see the connection of what the storyline could be like for us in the future in the next coming months. But it's kind of like about that person that's like a big fan of a certain person. In this instance, it'll be like Maria being the fan of Tony Storm, and gaining that trust from Tony Storm. It's how the story goes, and in the end, kind of taking her championship away from her. It will kind of seem very similar to that Trish Stratus Mickey James storyline that we got when Mickey James debuted. So it'll be something similar to that in a way, but I'm interested to see it with them, to see how different it is, because I know it's not going to be exactly the same. So I'm looking forward to that. I definitely cannot wait to see her wrestle though, and mix it up with the girls in the division, because we've only seen her in backstage segments, kind of getting that RJ City introduced her to Tony Storm, and she's fangirly over Tony. And she even thanked him for like having them like introduce them to each other. And she's been saying like things here and there to Tony. And this week she actually went to Tony Khan's office, so we see her like kind of wanting push for her to get a match sometime soon in AEW. So that's something I would like to see. I'm very curious to who her opponent's gonna be and what how the storyline is gonna play out, because I it might not be exactly the same as the original story, but I'm still curious how it goes with these characters, because I, like you said, Tony has been creative with her character here in AEW. So to see her mix it up with Maria will be something very interesting to see.
Hmm. Hmm. And I believe Mariah also has a few moves that are actually very similar to Trish Stratus. I think she does the Trish Stratus Rana from the corner. So it'll be interesting to see how that story plays out. But I'm very interested to see how they differentiate it from the OG original.
Right. Next up, I'm definitely gonna do this one. We talked about her a little bit ago as well. I know, I know Mel had her for the list of 2023, but I'm gonna have her on the list for 2024. And I say that, and that's none other than Mercedes Monet. I have her as 2024 more than anything because I know that between her being let go from her like leaving WWE and putting her name out there doing different projects. I love what she did this year. And then we didn't get much from her before the injury happened. And now with the injury and recovery, she missed a lot of time this year. So I'm gonna put her as 2024 because I'm thinking whether she decides to go back to WWE, because there's rumors that she might want to go back now that Triple H is in charge and it might be a little bit different for her. But to see her branch out in the way she did and take a chance on herself, go to NJPW and stardom and do this and that, like here and there, and see her be in different places and face different people and do a faster style than what she had before is something that really impressed me with Mercedes here. And I love what she has done. It's unfortunate that the injury happened because I was liking her matches and everything that was happening here and there. But I cannot wait to see what she does next year, whether she stays in that NJPW stardom kind of run. Because, like I said, I want to see her versus Julia selfishly. But if we don't get to see that, then if we get to have her back in WWE, I feel like it will be great as well. Because I'm hoping she will get highlighted in a different way than what she was before. I know she had great moments. I'm not gonna lie about that, but I feel like they dropped the ball on her on certain aspects in her career when they could have done better. So I definitely would like to see that as well. So I hope that next year we do see her like branching out, do it more. And I would like to see her show up in more wrestling events, like outside of like that NJPW kind of umbrella, and then showing up in different indie places and like see how she goes against other women that we didn't get to see before because she was in WWE, or even showing up at an Impact. Maybe if it was once in a lifetime, kind of her versus Trinity, like give me that too. I wouldn't mind it. But how about you?
I mean, she was a highlight this past year. She's going to be a highlight coming up. She's one of those people who refuses to be quiet, and I kind of love it because it really pisses off a lot of people that she doesn't remain quiet, and I kind of like that. Yeah, I didn't know that this is the first time I kind of heard that she's that is WWE really a thing for her? Is that are they saying that?
Not her, but it's just like rumors, obviously, as it is of
Oh, okay.
because of her contract. Like you never know, like if she'll show up
Rumor mill,
because technically
rumoring.
under new management. So maybe
Yeah, yeah. People gonna peep, right? I've been saying that a lot. People gonna peep. People gonna talk. They gonna have their own opinions about it, and that's cool. Um, I agree that I felt that she was given a lot of opportunity and that a ball was dropped. But I personally like Mercedes Monet again better than Sasha Banks. I would personally feel at this point of her career that going back to WWE might be a bit of a step back. I feel that she might get more opportunity doing what you mentioned, staying kind of in the indie kind of thing, but I don't know how much indies she'd be willing to work. Just because some of that can be pretty casual. There's not a lot of safety there. So I get that. Um, yeah, I'm interested to see what Mercedes does this year as well. Um, Hoping for a good year. And I am hoping to eventually see her in face Julia. I do hope, kind of hope. I know it's been taken out of the books now, but I would like to see her have one more match with Julia before one of or both of them goes to whatever it is that they're going to be doing this year. Yeah. So we're going to move on to one of my ladies, number two lady, who comes along with Julia. And I suspect if Julia does come to the WWE, that she would be bringing friends. And that I think that this would be probably intellectually the smartest person to bring, but also just how well they work together business wise. It would be the smartest thing. And that is the toxic Thekla. Um, Thekla is, I believe, Austrian. And she's, again, bilingual, speaks Japanese as well as English. I think trilingual, actually. Japanese, English, and Austrian. Um, Incredible talent, high speed wrestler, very similar to Mercedes Monet in that kind of lucha libre, very quick, very moved style. But man, when she strikes you, also, you heckin' feel it. My favorite thing that this woman does, I believe, is called a spider suplex. Andre's the guy who knows the moves. I am the one who just looks pretty. Um, but she's in the top turnbuckle. She yeets you into the suplex and then comes back up. Mars, a specialist here, also does something very similar. She goes into a back bridge and walks around, creeping people out. She's entertaining. She's so pretty. I mean, this is exactly how she looks. Um, she has a really fun entrance gear with spikes and spinies all over it, plus a metal song. She's a musician. She's an artist. She's marketable. She this woman kind of embodies everything that I want to be, from swagger and looks to confidence and build. She's really a total package. And again, she is one of the Artists of Stardom champions with Julia. And the third member is my Sakurai. Yeah, DDM member. I love her. Astrid, have you heard much about
I mean, all I've heard about her is from you anyway.
I
Nothing
will
new
not shut
there.
up, let me tell you.
Um, oh yeah, I was gonna say when you said this one, I said I'm not surprised. No, but like you mentioned it, I like her overall look. I didn't know she was in a band, so that's pretty cool to think about too.
Mhm.
Like what I love about it is like her look overall. It's one of those things like if I could see her over here with somebody else too, that would be great. Yeah, I would like to see like anything from her because I haven't seen any like kind of matches from her. But even like thinking of her overall look, and I've seen her on Twitter every now and then too. Her posts come up, and she looks great. She looks amazing. So it's like I cannot even begin to imagine what she's like in the ring.
Oh man, her Instagram is a riot. Highly recommend.
Okay, let's see. I got for my next one. This one I put it in because I'm more interested to see about the character in itself. She like Becky this year. I feel like she has been in that kind of veteran mentality of I'm gonna take care of the present and the future of the women's division, and that's none other than Bailey. Here we go. I love Bailey, and I feel like this year when she's done with Damage Control has been great because she's been able to highlight those girls and noticing since Damage Control was created and they debuted it on SummerSlam, she's been taking like a backseat. You don't see her wrestle as often. It's mostly the girls taking that stage. And it's nice to see that character development that she's had from being the leader to like now at the point of like we know she's gonna get kicked out pretty soon and it's gonna be the three girls and then Dakota Kai kind of being like almost like the leader slash mouthpiece. But seeing what they've done every single week. It's just like they just like Rhea. I one thing that I have loved about Damage Control, whether it's win or loss, mostly losses, unfortunately, but they used to see them on a weekly basis on SmackDown somehow, whether it's some kind of involvement in the ring, some promo, backstage interview somewhere. You always see them on the show. And it's nice to see them like taking that moment with the stable to make EO the champion and getting that highlight there as well. But I noticed that mentality with just like Becky of like I'm taking care of the future of the women's division and taking that backseat for her like of herself and her career to highlight these girls. But I'm looking forward because the Workings match was incredible. If you haven't seen it, go definitely go check it out. That Workings women's match is probably one. It was better than the guys, and this is me being biased, but it was amazing to see. But overall, I like the story that we have with her, especially during the Workings match in itself, is that she saved the girls whenever they got pinned. So whenever it was her turn and she got pinned, nobody saved her. So that's pretty interesting storytelling just in the match in itself, and knowing that sooner or later she's gonna get kicked out. Like I cannot I'm just imagining that happening and it's gonna break my heart in such a way, even though she's the heel right now. But I'm also looking forward to when she does turn babyface, because this will be a babyface without her being the hugger. So that's something that I'm looking forward to watching. Because first, I wasn't sure how the heel turn will be for her, and she kicked that out of the park. She did incredible as a heel. But I'm just like, I'm curious to see what she's like, what she's not a hugger though, as a babyface. And kind of seeing her go back to those girls in the SmackDown Women's Division, and I feel like she would probably start like apologizing to them for what she did while she was in Damage Control, to try to get her faith back to them and the trust back with them, to have them team up with her maybe in the end against Damage Control. So that's something I'm looking forward to when little bits and pieces of that happens. I'm glad it wasn't fast. Like, we're getting that little bits and pieces every single week. And it's been that long-term storytelling that we have between all of them, because it's something that I don't want to happen overnight. I want to take their time with this one and see the different like little bits and pieces of Bailey changing back to babyface. But again, she's been doing incredible, and I love the overall look and how she looks now when she's not the hugger too.
Mm. I forgot about her. Not gonna lie. Like, I knew she was
No.
still with the company, but like, I think because of her lack of involvement in ring, she was just kind of being pushed to the side for me. Um, I definitely dressed up as her for Halloween like 7 years ago as the hugger, the sideways
Hmm.
ponytail, and the yeah. um, Look, I didn't realize that she had the short hair and the purple hair, and that's a whole new look. Hello,
Yes.
that's a
Mm-hmm.
whole new look for her. I like it. I'm
Yeah.
digging it. I've been hearing a lot of people saying that like her heel stuff is good, but I am curious also to see kind of, because again I haven't heard so much about it. Um, I've only been seeing the pics, you know what of. Um, so yeah, I'm interested to see, because I was a fan of Bailey when like back in the day when she was the hugger, but I definitely felt that she was kind of being left behind a little bit. It's nice to see her starting to push forward a little bit more. I'm curious to see what she does post Damage Control, because I did see that promo where they were like, "Oh, there's someone in the ring who's not part of this."
I feel
Don't
so
know if it's
bad.
the right person in that situation, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a fun story, and it sounds like the fans are really enjoying that story so far too. So I have hopes for it.
Yeah. And see how it goes. But no, I like that also thing is like she has shaped the back of her head. So whenever something happens, like she will put something in the back of her head.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I've seen that.
yeah,
Yeah,
so it looks pretty cool too. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that feels really fun when it's growing out too. Itchy, itchy, itchy. So my number one pick for the people to look out for, ladies to look out for in 2024, gonna be the belt collector of this year. That's Masha Slamovich. That woman, holy frick. Like, she's on a roll this year, and I don't suspect she's gonna stop. She's very marketable, very, very all over the place. And she's fighting all over the place. She's going to freaking, I think I've seen her in Europe, I've seen her in Japan, I've seen her just wrecking shit here in the US, North America. Just frick, man. I absolutely love it. She's had one hell of a year, and I've seen her a number of times here now, coming for top talent, defending. She was the top talent champion for a bit, facing, I believe it was Ava Lawless for the longest time. I don't know who she lost it to. Can't remember. This is what happens when the shows are only once every 2 months. Is just I can't keep track of what's going on. There's too much ish happening in between that. However, um, I follow this lady on her socials. Highly recommend you do. It is a fun treat to watch. And it's fun to watch her traveling and doing the videos very similar to what like Jordan Grace is doing. You'll see her doing videos with Jordan Grace, having fun with the locker room, having fun with other women. It's almost like I almost believe that some of these people are legitimately treating each other like family, like brothers and sisters. And it makes me very happy to see, because I was pretty jaded and jilted for a while there, thinking that that was just a nice bullshit lie that people like to say just to make you think that something's kosher. Um, they make me believe it. The Impact Women's locker room makes me believe that these women are sisters from other misters, and I absolutely love it. Astrid, what do you think about the beautiful and talented as you, Masha Slamovich?
Even Barry said it. Mash was a great wrestler. I can't think of many better. And yeah, like you said, I keep thinking like I keep seeing her everywhere, but in a good way. Like I don't mind that. But it's not like she took so many indie bookings, and it's nice to see her like in so many different companies here and there. Aside from doing everything in Impact that she's doing, and even in Impact, she had great matches. Everything was incredible that she's done. I do like the part that she doesn't do her promos in English. When they do her promos, they have to always have to have subtitles in there, but it's always interesting. I mean, her and Killer Kelly have been doing great as a tag team in the point of like people think of that and obviously where their thoughts go when they see the tag team together. But like you said, she's one of those people that this year you saw her in so many places. It was hard not to see her anywhere at this point. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she's definitely one of those that I cannot even name all the company that she's been in because I know I'm gonna forget a lot of them.
Oh,
But yeah,
so
she's
many.
been doing so much this year, and it's incredible to see her grow in such a way that everybody wants to
Mm-hmm.
have her in their company, and to have her be a champion in so many companies as well. And that's why, like you said, like calling her like a belt collector, like so very accurate. We have to say that for sure. But yeah, she's been doing great stuff. And it's like I can even like think of like the next year is gonna be something similar to in that aspect as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I think she's only gonna get better and better and better.
Here
Oh,
we go.
don't play me.
Masha beat Ava, and then she lost it back to Ava. There you go. I had a feeling it was
There you
Ava, but I wasn't sure.
There you go. I figured it was
Yeah.
Ava. I knew she faced Harland Hay Abbott somewhere in there.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, now Effie is our long reigning champion. Got a fatal four way coming up though. Don't know if he'll be able to contend with some of the people he's facing.
Mhm.
We'll have to wait and find out.
And I didn't
My
get to
friend,
see it,
who's
but
your
now
number
I'm
one?
seeing it. I'm seeing this now, so I wanted to shout it out. But Ophelia, thank you for subscribing with your Prime to the Twitch. Appreciate it. I didn't get to see it because I'm here setting up for the rave when we finish. So thank you so much. Um,
Love
my
you.
number one. I hope Ed is still in the chat because I feel like he's gonna love this one. But oh shoot, I
Oh,
don't have the graphic here. Let me see if I can find the graphic a little bit later on. But um,
I'm
this
scared.
one. No, not a bad graphic. It's just I call it the ed graphic. I don't know if I'll be able to find that on time. But to introduce her, I'll say she has been great to put it like that as a rookie because she has been one of the few people that has been starting out from scratch in wrestling. So something that I never expected this to happen with her, and I feel like I love to see her on a weekly basis. I'm glad that she became champion this year, even though her reign wasn't my favorite. That's a different story. Um, let me see. Oh, I thought he was talking of being here. Barry says, talking of
Oh yeah.
Impact, Kylie King is another great wrestler who deserves more recognition. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
She's another one like Masha in that aspect that she was everywhere. And I really love to see that too.
Oh,
Um, but no, with this one, I love how she was able to take her character and you see her growing on a weekly basis there as well. So I love seeing that from her. And she has been growing not only with her character, but wrestling as well. Um, hoping that okay, this thing doesn't go through. But here we go. I got it on time. Hopefully for Ed. If not, Ed can watch it later if it'll come up. Let's see. Maybe not. Where is it? Okay, here we go. So this is for Ed. I'm waiting for it to process so I can play it for him before I put her picture. So this is
All
for
I have
Ed.
to say now is it's Tiffy time. All I have to say.
So here we go. My number one is none other than Tiffany Stratton. So I definitely had to put the graphic up and well I could because it doesn't happen often. Yeah, it was nice to see her become champion, seeing her grow as a wrestler every single week. And she looks great as another thing as well with her look. She reminds me a lot of Charlotte Flair, and obviously for obvious reasons. She's one of those that I could see her being like the next Charlotte Flair in that sort of aspect and taking over the division when she does go to the main roster. Um, See her matches with Becky Lynch, woof, incredible. I maybe like think more of her, and now she's part of the Iron Survivor. I hope she does get a great highlight during the match in itself because we haven't seen much from her after losing the championship. That's the only downfall of it. But I feel like she had a great year because she was able to grow in her character, her wrestling, gain that experience. And to go in a promo with Becky Lynch, and it's like I think it's just that back and forth, which is incredible to see. And once she like name dropped her in the promo, I went, "Woof, we're getting this!" I cannot even imagine how it's gonna be, and I feel like she definitely learned a lot in that experience with Becky. So if you haven't checked out her matches, check out her matches with Becky Lynch. Definitely a great way to see her highlighted. Yeah, and can I say I love her gear? She looks incredible as it is as well. I know you don't watch NXT, but I don't know if you have seen any clips of her during her stuff with Becky or even after her becoming champion as well.
So I actually I saw a lot of her clips before she debuted, like the vignettes and stuff that were being aired of her doing the tennis practice and my daddy is getting me this. And I was immediately as a woman how I was supposed to be in that situation. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, this is a Britney Spears 20s, like early 2000s, like hee, look at me, daddy's girl. And she played it so well, though. You had to respect how well she was able to play it. But to see how she's gone from that, and like, admittedly, when I first saw her in the ring, she was very sloppy. So I immediately kind of lost some hope. But a few months later, I'm like still hearing about her, and I'm like, okay, let's look. Let's see what's going on. Holy hot dang. It's like, why weren't you like that beforehand? Did they just pull you off the street for that first match and then trained you for a few months? That's kind of what it felt like. It was like they gave her to us prematurely.
Mhm.
But that being said, though, giving someone to us prematurely gives us this opportunity to watch them grow and gain all that knowledge and experience and stuff like that. So that's a supremely good thing also. And I like that they didn't pull her and that they let her develop naturally on screen week after week. And like I remember hearing you were talking quite positively about her, which made me feel good because I'm like, if Astrid likes her, that means she's actually got talent. Doesn't just mean that she's a pretty face or something, that she's actually got
Mhm.
something worth looking at. And to hear the promos and the clips of the promos that she'd been cutting and putting out there, and then to see the antagonism that she was giving the other women in the locker room, having the tantrums, the character work and development was just top notch. Um, you're right, though. WWE doesn't seem to do that thing where they like have you be the champion for a really long time and then you drop it and you disappear. Um, to be fair, though, I mean, it sounds like NXT is kind of swamped with some talent over there. Lots of women wanting an opportunity at that championship. I suspect that we'll either see her moving up or re-challenging again. What do you think for her? Like, do you think that they'll give her another title run at NXT, or do you think they'll bump her up to main roster?
That one I'm torn about because she's part of the Iron Survivor, so obviously in storyline wise she does have a chance right now to get a championship match.
Mhm.
I don't know if I see her getting another one. I don't know how I feel about her and Lyra because Lyra's not definitely one of my favorites. Tiffany, on the other hand, has grown on me. Like you said, going from that blondie, like, oh, daddy's rich, I'm daddy's girl kind of character to now being like a Barbie like character. And even like you can see the transformation from looking at those vignettes before to looking at her promos now, and the way she talks and the way she addresses herself and everything looks like overall she has a good overall package. And one thing is that I'm sure the performance center feels proud in that sense because she is one of those people that started from the ground there, started from nothing to now being who she is. They can say, look, this is an example of what we can create here at the performance
Mhm.
center when people have the ability to grow and learn from all this. So she's definitely one of those examples, like, you see her growing and you're like, dang, this is really worth it to see them growing from
One of
from
those
what she
good
was to not
examples.
know anything. Yeah, good examples for
Because if
sure.
you want to bring another example, we got Aaliyah. And
Yeah.
I don't even watch the
Eh,
product, and I know that that was not a good decision. Why you fire Emma before you fire that? Anyway, we're not going to get into that. Yeah, very good place.
no,
And Barry's
but
absolutely right.
yeah,
Very great annoying
yeah,
character.
Yeah, I love how she like the way she does it. It's incredible to think about. And even Barry saying it, Ariana Grace another that's got great potential. Got real potential and some generally good basic in ring ability. Yeah, I feel like Ariana, she's not afraid to like make a fool out of herself if you think about it that way. If she gets to be that
Oh,
comedy
okay.
kind of person at first to like grow, she's Santino Morella's daughter. So you definitely see
Okay,
like she's not
okay.
afraid. Yeah, she's not gonna be
Yeah,
afraid
not
to like
afraid. No, that
really
would make sense.
do that on screen. But we've seen her grow a little bit, a little bit by little bit. It just she had
Mhm.
an injury, so now she's been able to really get a little bit of showcase, and she's starting again from the ground up in that sense of it. But yeah, that's another one that's a great one to look out for next year as well, because she's been growing little by little, growing on all of us with her gimmick of her being the pageant queen kind of thing. So it's been nice to see her like she's not afraid to like look terrible and in front of her and give us that comedy kind of time just to
Ah,
get that attention from us there.
one of those girls. Okay. Micah is just
Yeah.
like that. That's why I like Micah, and I think she'd do well over here.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Rihanna's one of those like you can tell she even though she makes us laugh, but you see her, she's been growing with like her facial expressions is something that we always look like the way she does it. She is good in the ring, but I know she can grow a little bit more as well. But it's just one of those things like her the way she sells you everything no matter what it is, her face does it for you as well. So she's been learning in that aspect too. You see her
Very
growth.
good. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, but that's it. Those are the women that we have top five for 2023 and top five to look out for in 2024. Yeah, how did you feel when you were picking these though?
Stressed. Because we had to literally only pick 10 women, but frick, there's thousands of amazing women's wrestlers, both in the indies and on the big stages of the world, who deserve a showcase. I mean, Jazzy Gabber just retired in Germany. I would have loved to see her again in stardom. I mean, she was a powerhouse in herself. um, Ava White in Rev Pro. You got so many women in the North American Indie. I couldn't even, don't get me started because we'll be here another hour. Don't want to bore everybody. So many women that deserve to be showcased. And we just got to frickin' pick 10. How did you feel, my friend?
One thing that I had in mind though is that I wanted to pick people from different companies. I didn't want to be just a WWE NXT like concentrated list. So I wanted to pick a little bit of everything. I thought, who are the people that I've seen kind of like not only talked about, but that had caught my attention, not only with the programming, but in social media, because sometimes it just does that little, I call it like an extension, because once the show ends, it's to get something from them on social media to promote the stuff. And some of them, like Athena, goes out of the way to really do that. And I love how she does it. Um, Look at who's here.
It's Eric. Hello, Eric.
Where's my shout out? I'm waiting. No, okay.
I'm the important
Um, yeah, it's only you. It's okay. Like Athena, one thing that I have been in like really laughing and enjoying is that whenever she has an opponent, like let's say she goes against Mercedes Martinez, she would take a picture or like the graphic from it and make like a little thing of like they change her mouth and they start singing something else.
Oh,
I don't even know how to describe it. And she starts singing something else that she wants to do with her voices, and she does the voice for itself. And like the little
love
things
it.
like that, like you can like she does that it catches your attention in social media and it gives you that extension of the programming that you get to see from them. So that kind of thing from her. And if you haven't even checked it out, the clips from her and then the MIT training and Billy and Lexi, incredible together. That's why I said it's gonna be bittersweet when they're not together anymore. Because I love how they have their moment. They have a good balance for me of like not only having comedy, but when it's serious, it's actually serious. So I like that. It was like she has those moments like when she goes at it, she goes at it. She even did a promo on Eddie because Eddie said something about like Ring of Honor champions, and Athena just like did like a little promo for towards him on social media, and I was like, holy crap, woman, that was incredible. But it's one of those like I said, I would like to see her more in AW to like really do that cross promotion in there. But again, like I said, she's been that foundation for Ring of Honor this and since becoming champion. So it's nice to see that as well. But yeah, overall it was just hard to pick only five people, like you said. But I kept thinking, who are people that have seen very often that have caught my attention this year, and who are people that have caught my attention this year, but I feel like it wasn't enough and I want more from them next year. That was like my thought process going through it. And I was thinking of the one for the top five for this year. I had moments that I was like, shoot. I want to pick this one, but this one feel like I did a little bit better. So I had that little battle with it myself. But like I said, at least for mine, both of the top fives are not like who did better than who. It was just a matter of like which one do I want to pick first out of
Mhm.
all of them. But I had no particular order for mine at least. But no, it was like a nice adventure to like think back of the year. I'm like, what did I see from these latest this year that I wanted to like yeah, discuss in the show. So that's another thing to it. But I feel like it was a good experience to like think about like this whole year because it
Mhm.
feels like it's been such a long year, but so short at the same time. Yeah, it's a
It's
lot.
been a dragger, that's for sure. I mean, the beginning part of the year felt like it went pretty quickly, and the last part of it has just been like, get on with it.
Yeah, that basically summarizes it. And I'm glad that we were able to do this too. I miss doing the show with you here live and be able to talk about this stuff. I know we missed the PWI, so hopefully for the next one we'll still discuss it, even though it's been a little bit now at this point. We also have another discussion that we want to talk about women in media. Hopefully we get to do that before the year's over. But
Mhm.
other than that is nice to be able to think of us like what do we talk about at this point? But I'm glad you came up with this idea of having the top five. I was thinking, well, Mel, why do you have to make it so difficult for me? But no, it was still a fun
Stress
experience to
22,
like
girl.
think
Stress
about
22.
everything. But after that, I'm like, this is basically the end of the episode. But Mel, where can the people find you?
If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can find me on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can find me on everything else: Facebook, Mastodon, TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky at Melball Collins. You can also find me every other couple of days on our YouTube channel, Andre and Melball's Wrestling Talk, where we upload NJPW Pro Wrestling Review, Stardom Review, as well as Chalk Talk, where we talk about all the local shows that we go to with Miss Ophelia over there. Where else? You can also find me here with Astrid because I love her. That's pretty
Um,
much it for now.
let me see if I don't forget anything. First of all, if you didn't know, I'm a WB Shop affiliate. So if you can scan the QR code or if you go on my social media, you can find the link as well. Just to give everybody a heads up, the price hasn't changed for you. It's just a matter if you use my link, then I get a little bit of profit from that, whatever you decide to purchase on diabshop.com. Meaning, obviously, the price hasn't changed for you, but it benefits me in the end. So just that heads up, that's the only difference when you use my link and my code. I think when you think about it that way. So when you do your shopping, just if you want, use my link. There's nothing different for you. So at the end, we both win to put it like that. You know, you don't lose either. Um, Other than that, for those of you that are here already, if you haven't checked it out, if you go on my YouTube channel, my goal is to finish the year with 150 subscribers. I'm very close to that. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Or if tell a friend if you haven't yet. We do have, like I said, we have Ladies Searching Showcase, so one of the podcasts that I do. We also have Taking Over that's there, my vlogs and any overall post shows. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, please do and click on the bell so you get notified whenever we're live, whenever I do a new upload. And last but not least, the Mel Ball has a nice shirt design right there to show off. Huh, Mel? Ah, I love it. If you haven't seen it, that's my
Isn't
new
that pretty
merch, and
cool?
that's with not mine. It's an animated version of me.
Right.
um, I had to. Um, for those of you that don't know, I have partnered with Morgan Arts. She did that shirt design that Mel was wearing, and for you wear. So you haven't yet, you can go to their website and go on their personalities, and you'll see my shop. They do have the hoodies for that design and the shirt like Mel has it. And you can pick it in black, white. I think grave's the other choice if I'm not mistaken. And that's the link. And if you haven't yet, that's the QR code as well for that. So check it out if you haven't. Very happy about that design. I wanted to have merch that looks like me, and Mel gave me the idea. So Mel had the foundation for this design. So thank you, Mel. And then in the end, that's what came up with, which is I'm very happy about. It looks so freaking pretty. Hello,
Bobby
Bobby. Nice
Sacks.
to have you here. But no, I love that shirt design. And then what Mel said, I go order it. I said, no, you don't have to. And then she just posted a picture with it, so she made me cry when I saw it. But no, really happy to be have that design there. And lastly, if you haven't yet, you can find me on my socials, which is X and Blue Skies, Astrid Pizarro, and then Instagram and Threads is Astrid Pizarro 20. And that's where I have everything. If you want to check out any of my writing, though, through Body Sam, if you go on my Twitter account, it'll be on my highlights there as well. Hopefully, we'll have a piece coming out sometime this weekend. I also want to thank not only Belle for being patient with me, but also thank Mike the ref from Backbreaker Media for being patient. That I haven't had been able to do the show for quite a while at this point, but thank you, Mike, for giving us a platform to be able to work with you, Backbreaker Media. We do really appreciate your support and your advice and everything you do for us. But yeah, if you haven't checked it out, go to Backbreaker Media and Backbreaker Gaming. So they do have two separate channels if you haven't checked that out. But yeah, very happy with everything that's been going on with us. And I cannot even imagine what next year is going to be like. But yeah, looking forward to whatever we decide to do next. I decided to go raid somebody that I've gotten to know a little bit here and there. So we're going to raid Heel Kevin on Twitch. So if you haven't, go check it out. And just in time here, we're ending the show just in time for you to watch SmackDown and hopefully more of Damage Control tonight. So for the Melball right here, and see, now I can do it. See, and for myself, thank you for watching Radio Session Showcase. We'll see you again soon.